Ted, let me ask you a couple of questions to get started. Can you give me every single detail about your personal and professional life so that I'm all caught up on everything Ted Hope related?
What you see is what you get. I say
Wait,
what I say what I mean, I do what I say.
is Hope your actual last name or did you
Yeah,
pick that?
it's funny, I always wondered that. It's definitely my dad's name, and, my mom told me that he died when I was a young boy, but my mom would tell me that he would say often, like, "To despair is a sin." So I was like, "That sounds suspicious, like someone who chose his name," but it's actually, I have one sister who's a public high school teacher and in the Bronx, and she loves those British mystery shows. And another sister who's an actual scientist, and they were able to track the Hope line down to
The Hope line.
1066, the Battle of Hastings, and hoping that, because there was the Hope coat of arms, hoping we had some nobility. But no, our Hope line has been paupers since the beginning of time. One married well and but was childless and childish probably. So we've just been, good working people for a long time.
You know, if you go back that far, you could just lie and nobody would know. You could just be like, we're the descendants of knights, like you're a Heath Ledger in A Knight's Tale. You could change your stars, Ted Hope. I promise you can.
Maybe, maybe.
Um, okay, so here's what I wanted to do. The way that this happened was this woman from Substack, Bailey, reached out and she's like, "Hey, do you want to happen to like have a chat with anybody in the Substack universe? Is anybody interesting to you?" And I said, "Well, if we're gonna do a movie thing, like I've been following this guy Ted Hope for a while. I don't know anything about him personally. We've never talked. Can you get me on a thing with him?" And she was like, "Yeah, no sweat it." Now
So
here we
boom.
are. So boom. So when we were emailing back and forth ahead of time, we were like trying to figure out what we wanted to talk about, and we came up with this idea. You and I did of, well, let's just go tit for tat. Let's each offer up three movies we're excited about from this year. I give you one, you give me one, so on and so forth. We talk about why we're excited about it. I imagine our tastes are a little bit different, so I'm excited to hear what yours are, and I'm excited to tell you what mine are. So can we do that? You want to do that?
Let's jump in. Let's
Let's
jump in.
go straight forward. Okay, you go first, Ted. What's the first movie you're excited about? It doesn't
Well,
have to be in order if you don't want.
I've been seeing some really good stuff recently. It takes me always like a while to get through what I missed the year before. So,
Hmm.
there's still stuff I would probably put on 2025 that I'm still seeing. But I recently saw Teenage Sex and Death in Camp Misama on a big screen. It's
That away.
shot in 35. You know, I have a little background in horror films, like, way back when I first started, I made a few. I dabbled a little bit when I was at Amazon and kind of the more art house horror films, did, Suspiria with Luca Guadagnino and Neon Demon with Nicholas, Refn. But, it's not really my genre, right? But I have to say, I was so entertained by this movie. I had so much fun watching it. My friends had so much fun watching it with me. And some of it is the way that it subverts, the kind of dictates of the genre and delivers different things. There's a lot of ambiguity in it, yet it still also hits all of those things that you would expect a slasher film to hit. You know, um, my wife, who doesn't like that type of films, and I think enjoyed this one a bit with me, said she was just really happy that she realized the big slaughter scene would end when the song ended too. That when the upbeat song ended, she knew she could take her hands off her eyes. But it, I just found the fact that in this film, and I've seen the director's other 2 movies, and you could say that being, both, We're All Going to the World's Fair and, oh, what just happened there? We lost the screen. And, what was that other one called? Help me here. Um, Senior moment. I'm missing it. The second film with Jane Schoenbrunn, someone in the chat will surely, state it. But, they're all variations on the theme, but they keep getting more and more sophisticated, more and more complex, and I really appreciate the humor in it. So it was a beautiful film, really well done in which way, inventive, pushing against the status quo, really the mark of a singular director, and just filled with, like, Easter eggs throughout for anyone that enjoys those things. I saw the TV glow. Thanks, Randy. Randy Thomas had the title. I knew I had was missing something there. Um, yeah,
So this is a so okay, I haven't seen this one yet.
I think it
Um,
just came out last weekend, so yeah.
okay, well, there you go. And you said it's a slasher horror movie.
Yeah, but it's more of a critique about them, and it's meta, in that, the character the lead
Or
character
metas.
is a young woman who, quote, "won Sundance" and gets hired to reboot slasher franchise that she saw way too young to do it, and she has this idea she has to get the original final girl from that first, horror film to come back, and, she's now, you know, uh, you know, 40 years later or something. Like,
Mhm.
no one should it's like rebooting Sleepaway Camp, it's
Yeah.
like, "Really? Like, you wanna do that?" Um, and she realizes, like, why it imprinted on her so much, what she saw in this actress's look in her eye, and, uh, and then there's of course, the creature, the killer has a whole level of realness, like, they're creating the killer as they speak,
Mhm.
and it goes back to some, like, David Cronenberg stuff and other things along that way, but it also has a level of artifice to it that's just beautiful, I have to say, so many different, buttons it pushes, like, freak out, curiosity, beauty, kind of you really love seeing really loved seeing the actors in the movie, and just really felt like subverting the genre while also, delivering on all points. On every aspect you'd want from the genre, it delivers, and then it totally subverts it at the same time.
I'm excited to watch this one. I have a theory about horror movies that I think they got too scary. So slasher movies I'm in on because that's what I grew up watching. Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, like that level of there's a killer and he's out there and he's gonna get you if you fall asleep or whatever, and then you
Right.
don't have to think about
Or
it
if you have
anymore.
sex, which is
Versus,
usually
yeah, versus like Hereditary or Lamb or any of these sorts of movies that get into your bones and wiggle them around a bit like that. I think movies got too scary, and so I'm excited to watch this one.
It's
Teenage
also
Death.
the kind of movie to see with an audience, so it's really nice when you see it in a theater, because the crowd gets it all, but it's also about
Yeah.
that too. Like, I was thinking, I was, 20, like, when all the video stores popped up, right? And
Mhm.
I was just going to film school then in New York City, and, I remember, like, the first time I rented videos, like, we rented 5, 3 friends and I, just so we could watch all these movies we had missed and never had the opportunity, and it felt so novel. But then, my career was benefited from the lack of titles they had to put on the video shelf. And that's when I worked in horror film and made it quite a few. It's like, when I was just coming up professionally. But it occurred to me that for everyone who was 10 in, early 80s, and then through on, this type of movie was a rite of passage. We all
Yeah.
watched them way too young,
Way too
you know,
young.
and thus found comedy in them, along with the things that we liked to be like, "Oh,
Yeah. I was just at recess earlier today, and now I'm watching this guy. slam
exactly.
somebody to death in a sleeping bag against an oak tree. Like that's like
I I think my son was maybe, like, 11 years old where he told me he'd watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was like,
ooh.
"What? How did you do
Ooh.
this?" He said, "On the school bus on my friend's phone," and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I
yeah.
guess it's okay."
That's how that goes. Okay, let me go off of yours then
Yeah,
into my first pick. My first pick came out several months ago. It's one of the most popular movies of the year. This is the only big movie I'm picking, but it has my favorite movie theater moment in it, and that's Obsession, written and directed by Curry Barker, starring
yeah.
Indy Navarrete, Michael Johnston, Cooper Tomlinson. Budget of 750 grand, famously, and now it's made $500 million. Nuts, just a runaway hit, super fun to watch, a great idea. Um, but I thought, what do I like so much about this movie? Because I kept coming back to it. I want to rewatch it again and see it again. And no, it's streaming now. Let me watch it for a third time and like at home. And it's does it still hold up when I'm not in a movie theater? But
I
so
have to
two things.
confess, just so you know,
Go.
so we're on equal territory. This is tops on my movies not yet seen list.
You haven't seen Obsession?
I haven't seen it. I mean,
Tedrick.
we went we
Tedrick.
went to we went to see Backrooms. Like, again, as I mentioned, like, my wife doesn't like horror. She came with me to Backrooms because I was like, I think it's
Hmm.
more David Lynch
Oh
than
yeah, for
horror,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
You know, so we can she can handle that. And then I was planning, I was, like, trying to figure out how do I get to see Obsession on the big screen without her, and I didn't get there. So, but yeah, and I wish I could have seen it. I would have loved to have seen it at Toronto last year when Focus bought it, like, 'cause
Uh-huh.
I love that feeling, "Oh, yeah, we're buying a $750,000 movie for $15,000,000.
Yeah, buddy.
I
Yeah,
gotta see
buddy.
it."
Okay, well, so now I don't know what to say about it because I don't wanna ruin it. I don't wanna ruin the, like, cool stuff that happens in there. Now I'm screwed.
But
I'm screwed now. My first pick is ruined.
you can position it. I tried not to do any giveaways, like, I didn't tell you about the secret room and, you know,
You coulda
in
told
it
me all of the parts in a scary movie. Okay, um, well, let me think then. Number 1, as I mentioned, it does have my favorite movie theater moment experience in there. I won't say exactly what it is. Everybody who's watched it is gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna describe it just very broadly, but there's a part about, I don't know, 45 minutes into the movie after the indie character, her name is Nikki. After Nikki is insane, she's gone fully insane now. She's done several. Oh my god, she's a crazy person. She's possessed, whatever. But it's after that's happened. We've all been watching her be crazy for 45 minutes. And then there's a scene where her and the guy go to a place and a little thing happens. Just a small little it's during a party. It's not like this horrible crazy moment. It's just a small little thing that he says that everybody in the theater when he like reveals what this thing is, he says it and I'm in the pack. It's opening weekend when I went to go see it. So the theater is packed. Everybody is there to watch this movie. We're sitting there watching. He says this thing, and every single person in the theater went like this before anything had happened, because we knew this thing that he said was gonna make her do something crazy because we've already watched her do it for 45 minutes, and just it was so just like in unison that the like theater screen felt like it wobbled
I
because
love
we
that.
all
I
breathed
Yeah.
in at the same time, and I was like, this is why I go to the movies right here for this exact moment. It was so much fun. It's such an incredibly creative movie. You and I have probably seen 400 Wish Gone Wrong types of movies between the two of us. And this one manages to do a couple of things that none of them have ever done before. I'm not going to spoil it, but it manages to do a couple of things where I was just like, how did nobody think of this beforehand? This is such a smart way to play. It's so much fun to watch in a movie theater. It's still in theaters, Ted. You could go
I
right
know,
now.
I will, I will. I hit the road, at the end of the month, but I'm gonna get there before I go. I'm making my commitment to it, and I will say you sent me. Uh,
You're gonna know the exact moment. You're gonna email me and be like, I saw it. I saw it. It was
but
great.
it is so, the fact that movies keep doing that and do that well for all, like, my prior riff on, like, breaking with a formula, that even some of the more mainstream straightforward movies all had little great moments like that. And
Yeah,
I just love that we keep delivering. And that's the original and ambitious are like the 2 qualities I like most in a movie. When
yeah,
I just feel like
exactly.
you're giving me a new perspective and you've actually kind of reached a little further than you have to reach and maybe grab that ring, I love it. I just
Yeah.
fucking love that.
Can you show me something I've never seen before? It's a hard
Exactly.
ask. It's a
That's
hard
a
ask,
hard ask.
but when they do it, come
I
on.
I can accept not always doing that, but making me feel differently about that, what you're doing than I felt before as
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
being original. Like,
I a and I have, like, a list of times that I was watching something in a theater or even at home where a little thing happened, I was like, "I've never seen that before." That's so I recently started rewatching all of these Private Eye movies, and so I was redoing Chinatown, and
oh, great.
that one
Yeah.
has one of the best ones ever when Jack Nicholson wants to he needs to find out when a person leaves, so he puts a watch under the guy's tire, so it'll
Yeah.
break when and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's fucking incredible." Like, immediately, I'm in on whatever this I've never seen that before. Okay, give me your second pick. What's the second movie you're excited about this
Well,
year?
I think, like, this is gonna be obscure because I don't think many people
Yeah.
have seen it. I think it, opens in New York, like, next week or something. It played some festivals before, and I watched this one by myself on a link, right? But it's a director whose work I was familiar with, and this is in some ways to the degree that you can say documentaries have a sequel, this is a sequel to a documentary,
Okay.
and it fits in a group with there's several movies kinda like this right now. So this is a film called Remake by Ross McElwee, who is best known for a documentary he made in the '80s, I think, called Sherman's March, right? And, he makes these very kind of personal documentaries that kinda claim to be about one thing, but then they're about another, right? And he's got a good sense of humor in all that he does. So in Sherman's March, he was recreating the march from the Civil War, but really he was trying to find a woman. He was single, and he didn't wanna be single anymore, and that was really what was going on in the movie. And since that, then, he fell in love, he had a child, he had a marriage go bad, and he's documented all of that, right, along the through his life with different movies. And in this movie, it's called Remake, and he's hired to do a remake, help create a fictional remake of that first movie, Sherman's March, right? And, and I should say, like, and through all of it, like, he has a Southern, sensibility, like, it's some nice things that you don't get as much in American film as I wish we got, along with this quiet, self-deprecating humor. But it's a sad, sad movie. Um, Funny, but, life, gets in the way, right? While he's trying to do this. You have to understand, like, this is like an off the cuff movie, right? So for all of us, long before there was a Truman Show or any of those things, when there's like the Albert Brooks movie of real life and all these other films about low key documentaries of normal lives, Ross delivers on those things, and he does it. You know, he makes it look effortless, but you know that like it's super challenging. I happen to have gone to film school with his editor, Joe Beanie, who was Werner Herzog's editor, and Lynn Ramsey and Andrea Arnold, and he's an excellent editor. And the style of the he's not the only editor on the film, I should add, but the style of the film, which is longitudinal through Ross's life, very present, like off the cuff shooting with iPhones of his family, cut in with like fast snippets of like your life is on rewind. Somehow just felt like that's kind of how I live in my own head at the same time. but I'm happy that, I've had my life and some of the things that occur for Ross during the course of this movie are as sad as it gets, but in some ways, uh, by us getting to experience it through Ross, we still have that full emotional catharsis, at least I did, and, whereas, may we never have to go through some of those things. So, it's just a really curious and, like, one of those movies that when it ended, I was like, "Hmm," but it kept sneaking up on me, and it just really stayed with me and caught, like, a beautiful feeling to kinda help me be thankful for what I've had in life and the joy that, movies bring me. Like, it delivered that, uh, you know, the meaning of life to it, like, that
Wow.
no
Wow.
less. So it's a casual movie, but, like, really worked for me. It won't be for everybody, that's for sure. I'm really curious as to what will happen when my wife, looks at it,
Mhm.
but it also, speaks, uh, very well, next about this, filmmaker, another documentary filmmaker called Sam Green, who has a documentary coming out soon called The Oldest Person in the World, and, he's been chronicling the people that win that award over the years, as well as, what is that movie? Oh, a movie, called Bend in the River, which is also taken from 2 other movies and follows, like, a group of former hippies who would just go on these nudist, rafting trips back in, I guess, the '60s, and now they're in their, back in the I don't know, later than '60s, I guess, '70s or '80s, because maybe now they're in their '70s. It's hard can't do that math, but also it's interesting to see these films where people use it to reflect back on their life, the meaning of the life they had, and then how we get through the different, trials and tribulations that we do. And, I always find I feel like almost anyone's life could make a fascinating movie. Ordinary life is fascinating stuff. I've always I don't I don't lean towards superhero movies because I find our human endeavors really so fascinating. Yeah.
You said, "Get Spider-Man the fuck out of here. I wanna watch Boyhood again." I need to
Yeah,
put I need
exactly. Exactly. That's where you see the real superpowers. How do we survive all this?
When you were watching Remake, this movie that taught you the meaning of life effectively, did you cry during this movie?
I well up, right?
What's the last movie that got 'em out of you? Not just they were sitting on the edge, but, like, came out. They went down the face.
You know, if I'm gonna answer that in a circuitous fashion that if someone said, "Ted, I need you to build the perfect movie theater," I
Mhm.
would build a movie theater that, lowered the air pressure like you're on a plane. So the times that I really cry in movies is when I'm on a plane, and I'm always super worried that someone's gonna see me, watching it. And, like, I had, like, I had a long trip a while ago, and I watched 3 movies that have nothing in common with each other, and it was such a great movie-going experience, and I started with what had been, like, a gap, in my viewing that I had planned to watch many times and never did, which was Gina Prince Blackwood's Love and Basketball, and it did I can't explain it. I had not
Were
watched
you
it.
crying at the end during the game?
Yeah, it got
Yeah.
me. It totally got me.
When that music comes in and they start going in slow motion, oh my god. Oh,
I was like and it just felt like such a perfect film for me,
it's beautiful.
and then after that, I watched Chainsaw Man, the anime
Oh, the
with
animated one, yeah, yeah.
and it was so
Mm.
good. It was
It's
such a
great.
good movie,
Yeah.
and I loved its mixture of, teen romance with total, mechas, mayhem.
So you went Love and Basketball into Chainsaw Man. What's the 3rd one?
The 3rd one I saw was I think it's a Colombian film called A Poet, came
Oh,
out
I
last
don't know
year.
that one. I don't know
It's
that
so
one.
good, I've recommended it to many people. He's like, it was like that country's nominee for Best International Film, right?
Yeah.
And it's either called Poet or A Poet, and the premise is like when he was in the 20s, he wrote a well-regarded book of poetry,
Uh-huh.
and he's now it's 20 years later, and he's basically a good-for-nothing drunk, right? And he's arrogant, pretentious, shows, just keeps thinking he's the greatest of all time, and, he has to reconnect with his daughter, and it leads him to sober up and, you know, uh, it's kinda like a Bukowski meets, you know, somebody getting sober, piece, but it's a beautiful, funny, weird, off-kilter movie, and they were just so different, those 3.
I I know that whoever was sitting next to you on the plane was texting somebody like, "Hey, the guy that I'm next to right now, he was really just crying while watching Love and Basketball. Then he started watching a cartoon, and now like he's a fucking maniac. I gotta get off this plane."
I was so happy. I was like, it was a great trip. I didn't yeah, that trip, I was supposed to sleep on the plane. I was like, my schedule only works if I sleep on the plane. I didn't
Yeah,
sleep. I was
good,
totally good.
good. Skipping sleep for Love and Basketball,
So
absolutely worth it. Okay,
so
let
what's the
me.
last time you teared up?
The last movie I cheered up, like actually, boop, came down. I'll tell you, I cried when I thought Rocky was gonna die in Project Hail Mary. It got me. It got me. Fucking Ryan Gosling and that rock monster. It got me.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the film, but I have to say that when I'd seen the trailer a lot. And I didn't like the trailer, and I was
Mhm.
like, "I'm gonna hate this movie." Now maybe I had some, like, sour grapes because it was made by Amazon and I don't work there anymore, but I have to say, like, Amazon's movies this year, I really dug that, and I really dug Crime 101, you know?
I liked Crime 101 too.
Yeah.
I thought it was super cool. I have that, so I have like I put together a list of like some other movies that that I was excited about that we're not gonna get through. But Crime 101 was on there. Not enough people saw Crime 101. I thought Hemsworth is great, Hallie's great,
I
Ruffalo's great,
love seeing Hemsworth in that role,
right? Just
right?
like I'm not Thor. I'm not Thor. I'm
No
just a guy
joking.
who I
There was
almost
not a
got shot,
single
and
joke
now
in
yeah.
his character, but all of them. I liked the whole casting, I thought was excellent.
I think Barry Keegan as like a live wire in anything is just like give me that guy all the
Yeah.
time,
You
all of
really
the
think
time.
he's capable of anything, like, this guy could do whatever, and that
Yeah.
pays off.
When he punched Halle Berry, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You just punched Catwoman, bro? Get this guy out of here. Get this guy out of here." Okay, my second movie that I was really excited about that this is one normally I watch everything in a theater. Like I live maybe 10 minutes from a theater. It's
I
really
wonder
nice.
sometimes how you do because I see you saying you're going to the movies, and it's
I'm
like,
there
how does
every Thursday at least, and then usually like one more day on the
and
weekend.
you're a dad, like, how it's like, how it's like,
Well, my kids are old. I got twins who are 19 and a
ah,
13-year-old. You
they're
know what
on
I
their
mean?
own.
So
Yeah.
I'm a dad in theory. But I usually watch every single thing in the theater, and this one I didn't hear one single word about it. I don't even know if it was at the theater by my house. They did whoever was in charge of distributing this thing and promoting this thing did such a poor job because the movie's incredible. It's so much fun. It's the coolest movie I saw all year. It was the most exciting movie I saw all year because it's just like this came out
Oh,
of nowhere.
I know what this is. No, let me
It
see.
was it was Is God Is by
Oh,
Alicia
yeah.
Harris, written and directed by Alicia Harris, first time director based on a play that she had written, starring Carrie Young, Mallory Johnson, Sterling K. Brown, Vivica A. Fox, Janelle Monáe. Um, budget was 15 million. It makes 5 million. It should have made 55 million at least. It's so incredibly cool. Did you watch this movie?
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen
No,
some good notice for it, like, you're not the
nobody's.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody has seen this thing. It's unbelievable. It's about
You're
uh,
getting some hearts. I saw some hearts come up just
good. Everybody should go see this. It's about these two sisters who they suffer through this terrible accident with their kids. Their father burns their mother to death, like in front of them. The dad is played by Sterling K. Brown, who is insidious. He is so good as a bad guy, but he burns the mother to death. They grow up, and then he leaves. They grow up in foster care, and then when they're like early teenagers, young 20s, they get a letter, and the mom is alive. Turns out they go see her, and she's like, "I need you to go kill your dad." And she tells them the story of what happened and how it happened, and she sends them off to go kill the dad, played by Sterling K. Brown. And it's like if you mushed together uh, Kill Bill and I don't know, They Will Kill You. It's just like it's incredibly cool. It's really well written. It's really like sharply directed. They do a lot of fun tricks in there that because they're twins, they have like an unspoken sort of language that pops up in subtitles on the sides and then like curious fonts, and it's just really such a fun movie to watch. It's one of the movies where you're like, when you watch it, you go, "Why the fuck wasn't this the biggest? Like, why wasn't this a 50, $100 million movie?" I don't understand.
Do you think, like, to me, like, I would I try not to read reviews before I see a movie,
Me too.
generally
I don't
speaking.
look at them.
Yeah, and I will often try to see, like, "Oh, is this being well received?" And I saw that movie was being well received, but I had no clue, and I would never have got that's what the movie was about. I didn't even know the genre, because the title threw me off. I wonder if the title, like, was just too
It might have been the title.
confrontational.
Yeah, it might have been the way that what I think. This is now we're just
I remember the
whatever.
image was the family together.
Yeah, I think what I would have liked to have seen is I would have liked for them to have billed it as this is the coolest movie you're going to see all year. Because if you say that, then everything else, okay,
Show
cool,
me.
I'm in. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
show
like
me, show me.
I
I
want to
wanna
see it.
see it.
I want
Exactly.
to see what this is. Can you deliver uh on this promise? Because you watch the trailer and you're like, is this a scary movie? Is this a dramatic movie? It's a fun movie. I mean the subject material is dark in there, but it's so much fun to watch. They do a bunch of really cool things. Like I have a shot still in my head that they do where they're like introducing all of the characters as they're going on their adventures. And the twin sisters, they eventually meet. The dad has a new family and he's got sons, and they meet the sons. But when they introduce them, they don't just like show them on screen from afar. It's like a hero shot of them just in front of their car, listening to music, and you're just like, this is the coolest way to introduce a new set of people to this. Like, it's just a bunch of stuff like that.
I will see it.
The ending
You
is
got
pulverizing. Oh my
you
god, when you watch it, but yeah.
you're 2 for 2 now on my pledge. As a man of his
Mm,
word, like, I'm gonna tell you when I see you, I will tell you I've seen them.
okay, you can rent it. It's like $5 or $6 now. Like you could just buy it. You know what I mean?
The challenge well, we got, I'd say, best home improvement we did. I'd been planning to do like, I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I bought one of those gaming projectors,
Oh
that
yeah,
do
yeah,
a
yeah.
100-inch screen from 6 feet away, and
That'll
we got
win.
a pull down. I really like it a lot, and we watch a lot on that couch now,
Yeah.
um, and no
You're
big
gonna love this movie. Like I'm seeing a comment in the chat from Lauren Rogers. Cannot look at Sterling K. Brown the same way after that movie. I'm telling you, he he has this like regality about him. This like I'm an important person when you see him in
yeah.
anything. He's in an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you're like, this is the most important person I've ever seen in a thing. Like you know what I mean? And he takes all of that and turns it evil. And here, there, when he arrives into the movie, he's just like walking through a scene where there's a bunch of dead people, and he doesn't react. All you see is his feet. They just do his feet and then he's like making a sandwich, and he sits down. Everybody's dead around him, and then he just starts talking to oh my god, he is unbelievable in there. He is so just like, I hate him and I love him. I hate him and I love him. Okay, what's your third movie? Give me your third one.
My third, and I debated which one, but I thought it was way too easy to put Backrooms on there, so I didn't put it on there. So,
Okay.
but it's, in some ways almost contrast, but a bit like that. Again, a movie I don't think most people saw, but it really kind of, inspired me. It was a film made for $10,000,
Wow,
right?
was it El
So
Mariachi?
nah, but it's like that, those that's in the bones for me of, like, why I been a I'm I've got to have this wonderful life doing what I love, how rare that is. I'm really pleased with all the movies I've been part of, and a lot of it was getting to the promise that you know, I could take my annual earnings and make a movie. Is that actually possible? Has that ever, so this movie was made for $10,000. When you think about that, you could say, like, yeah, I could save that every year and make a movie, right? So this guy named Pete O's, who's now made several movies in this fashion, made this film called Erupcja. I won't say it correctly because it's Polish for eruption, right? Um, and in English and Polish, set in Poland, and Charlie XCX is in it, right?
Mhm.
But the whole movie is improvised, and Vanessa, my wife, interviewed him for her podcast, and he said this really beautiful thing that really stuck with me too, is that he likes it and sees it all as a table made of bubbles. That's what the movie is. It's that fragile, right? And if you mess something up, right, it all collapses. But it's good that it's that fragile. And he to be able to play with it that way, he has to keep these budgets to nothing. So he shoots them in 10 days without a real script, more of like a scriptment, like a plan, but improvised with the actors who all get credit. And, that's really hard to do. And to me, the movie worked. And it kind of restored, that feeling. Like when I started making movies, my dream was I would make, punk rock versions of the French New Wave, right? I love those.
Hell yeah.
That was what I thought I was gonna be able to do. And, life takes you where it takes you to some degree as much as you try to influence things. We're not fully determined of the good fortune and bad fortune we have. Um, but, like, after I left Amazon, working for Amazon, I saw this movie, Wheel of Fortune and Fantasy by the director who did Drive My Car, the Japanese director who did Drive My Car. And there's a graphic novelist who I've always really dug, Adrian Tomine, right? Who's written a bunch of these kind of personal graphic novels. And Wheel of Fantasy and Fortune are three short stories of his, or graphic novel stories of his, about falling in love really with the wrong person, right? They're just 3 little short snippets, like, one is shot almost entirely in the back of a car, and when I saw that movie, like, it was the same year as Drive My Car. When I saw that movie, I was like, "That's really all I wanted to do, was make,
Mhm.
like, small, beautiful movies about real life." Now, that's not what our industry is. You don't get to really do that. That's not what people are saying they want, but it reminded me of that. And I was like, how did I get from wanting that in the beginning and saying that was my plan to now that I'm a, 60 plus year old man? Like, how did it go that how did I get off that track? And then when I saw Pito's movie, I was like, man, it's really doable. It's really
That's
doable.
cool. That's a cool feeling.
Yeah. And you don't have that feeling of like, God, if people are making it for 10,000 bucks, you could take four swings, right? And one film works, the one that works, you can make back that $40,000. You may not get back those 4 years that each one, but you could definitely make that money back with one that worked. Um, Anyways, yeah, so it was kind of a revelation for me to be able to see it. And, to be able to see movies like Project Hail Mary next to something like Eruptia, next to like this whole mix of things that we are in America are so lucky to be able to see in all the different ways we can. To me, that's a delight because, like, I love going to see Disclosure Day as much as I loved going to see, you know, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Misama, like, to all those things. And we're not even talking about, like, the old movies. My favorite thing is to see the old movies in a movie theater.
They're showing right now at the theater by my house Point Break and the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's like for 2 days. I'm like, I'll
And
be there.
And
I'll
I
be there.
remember, like, it was so hard to see, like, when I totally dug the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and to me, it's almost like an art film, right? It's informed by film, like, it knows its movie making really well, and, back in those days, pre-video store, you never got a chance to see it, except when it would show up in repertory finally once
Yeah.
on
Okay,
Halloween.
so
Your
your
third.
3 picks for the movies you were excited about this year: Teenage Sex and Death at Camp
Mishima.
Mishima
Yeah.
remake
Or
and
yeah. So
Polish
James
Eruption.
Schoenbrun, Ross Malkowy, and Pito's Eruptia.
And do you have like? Here's some other ones. I'll just give me real quickly. We don't need a whole thing, but what
Oh,
were
but you
some other
need
ones
your
you were?
third. We can't go on
Yeah,
another.
yeah. Um, I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some of my other options that I thought about before I give you my last pick. Here's some other
Okay.
ones that I had. I had the drama on my list, which is my favorite movie of the year. I loved the drama.
I I dug it. I dug it. Um, I had a little bit of I was, also because I was thinking of the director's other movies,
Hmm.
I was expecting a twist upon the twist,
Right.
like, and so I was kinda disappointed that didn't happen, and I had the suspension of disbelief didn't quite work for me on
Yeah, because I would have been like, well, you thought about shooting up a school? Nah, I get it. I get it. Where do you want to go eat afterwards? I love the drama. I thought the part where when we see the young version of Zendaya and she's like trying to make her manifesto and she needs to keep updating her computer was so funny. I thought it was fucking hilarious. But I loved the drama. It's my favorite movie of the year. I loved The Invite, which is really good.
it. Invite my wife would probably put as her number 1.
It was
Um
great.
You know, I don't like that she sees Seth Rogen as a sex object. Um, it's kind of like, "Oh, that's why you've never really been so demanding that I lose weight. Now I get it."
I really liked Is This Thing On? The
I really like that a
improv
lot.
comedy movie. I
Yeah,
like that one a lot.
it was such a surprise, for me, like,
We
I loved its it was a movie I like to hang out with.
Yeah, we liked, we mentioned Crime 101. I loved Send Help. So much fun to watch in the theater.
It's on my yeah, I'm a fan. Again, that's, like, where I get the blocking, like, my preferred company at a movie won't go with me to see
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show,
yeah.
but, like, I had to, like, take it back to, like, when I first saw the first Evil Dead, it so, like, woke me up
Yeah,
in different ways, and he's always inventive. He's one of the filmmakers I really admire his type of how he makes movies.
he does a bunch of little things in this one where you're like, "That's why I came." He'll, like,
Yeah.
real tight on a little piece of food on somebody's lip, and you're like, "That's why I'm here. I came to see this exact thing." Okay, a couple of I really
People
like the
forget that, like, he and the Coen brothers all came up together.
yeah. I really liked Pillion. Thought that was super fun. I really liked,
It's an what was I comparing it to? Like, 'cause we saw some other movie that had, like, I was referencing it, but, it's it again, a movie you don't expect to be as tender at
yeah, really sweet,
as
really
it is.
sweet. Um, Jackass, I loved. I love Boosters. Of course, The Odyssey, Spider-Man. Oh,
I
Tuner. Did you watch Tuner?
I haven't seen Tuna yet.
Tuner
It's on my list,
rules.
yeah, I've liked it, and I didn't see his AI doc, same director
I
that
haven't seen that one. I didn't see
yeah.
that. I just saw
The,
Tuner.
I would I know this is, like, going, maybe it's common ground or not, but, I would say my biggest disappointment this year is The Odyssey, which isn't to say I didn't like it. I still enjoyed going to see it,
Head
by all
Hope, what are you
means.
doing?
But I just felt there the 2 things that just didn't land for me, right? Like, a little and I know, like, so I have to contextualize, right? So, my sister's a high school teacher, and she teaches the kids the Odyssey. My
Mhm.
mom was a professor, and she taught the students the Od so I get raised in that realm, but I'm no means a scholar, but, like, respect. respect.
Cousins with Emily Wilson, like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
no,
where this is going, I get it.
yeah. No, but, like, it was just, like, the like, I remember reading the what's it? The comic books that would take the adaptations of great books. I remember reading the Odyssey version of that. I remember reading, like, children's versions of the Odyssey. I struggled with trying to read the non-children's version, but, um but it just was too much ongoing war and not enough for me of how I would get lost in the fantasy, and for me, it was the respect, and I know this isn't his intent, so, like, I tried not but I wanted it, right? So you gotta I'm part of the equation. It may not be what he was looking for, but I wanted the magic. The magic didn't land for me, that world of possibility,
Uh-huh.
you know? I liked
Okay.
Pattison, like, Pattison continues to do awesome work all the time for me. Uh,
Mhm. I'm excited about prime time. Uh,
yeah, I saw the preview the other night. Yeah.
I'll mention Keith is mentioning Bone Temple. Bone Temple's good. Bone Temple's good. Very weird and fun. Um,
Yeah, I
but
that
that's not
they did such good work. They did such good work with that whole series, I have to say. Like, they're really fun, and, what's his name? The guy that, the young guy who leads the gang, Jack O'Connor.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
so good to see him have, like, a role because he's always, like, it was like, "This guy is gonna be a star. I want him to be a
Yeah.
star." He's got, like, such good energy.
That's not my last pick, though. My last pick for the 3 that I was very excited about. I have Is God Is, I have Obsession, and then my last one, this kung fu masterpiece, The Furious.
And that's what I thought you were going to say. Like,
That's what I'm gonna
when you
say.
said "As God Is," I have that I haven't seen it, but, like, I so remember getting excited when I saw The Raid, and it looked like, "Oh, this the next version? I hope it is." Like, and it was in and out in, like, 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, so fast. So we did, when the trailer came out for this movie, same as you, I was super into The Raid. I obviously love, martial arts movies, I watch a ton of them, and so when the trailer came out for this one, I, like, tweeted very jokingly, like, I would pay $500 to watch this today because it was, like, not coming out for a couple of months, and then when I sent that out there, somebody from the studio reached out and was like, "Hey, do you wanna see this movie? I can send you a link," and I said, "Well, I don't wanna watch it on my computer, I wanna watch it in a theater with people, so if you want, we could do a screening. Let's do a screening in San Antonio. I'll fill the theater up with people. You just give us a movie." And they were
Wow.
like, "Okay, cool, let's do it." So that was like the first good movie, like in person event we did. And it fucking rips, dude. It's so
That's why,
good.
like, if there's a superpower that, I'd like to have, it's exactly that. Like, will the movie next to my house and let me invite all my friends before anyone else. I go to great lengths to see movies when I know nothing about them, you
Uh-huh.
know? Um, I yeah, I wanna say I have to share, it's funny. We're talking about seeing movies on the plane. I saw The Raid 2 on an
Ooh,
early morning flight on
yeah.
the plane, on a
Yeah.
plane. Like, the person next to me, like, kept turning that so they wouldn't see it 'cause
Trying to get away from that kitchen fight.
I
That
I was
kitchen
so
fight in
ha
Raid 2
I
is
was so happy. It was like 7 AM in the morning. I was like, "Oh my
yeah.
god, they have Raid 2 on the plane."
And this one, incredible. Now, it's got, like, parts where they're acting and giving dialogue, and you can skip past all of that and just go straight to the fights. You don't lose anything. I, of course, recommend watch the whole thing, but what makes the movie special is not the acting parts, but it's when they get to the fight sequences. They have some of the most elaborately choreographed fights I have ever seen that have ever existed in any movie ever. And we talked earlier about, show me something I've never seen before. And this movie does it like 10 times. 10 times they're like, we're going to do a thing in a fight that you didn't even know could. Every guy in there has like a special thing that they're good at. Like one guy, his legs are made of rubber and he's just like flipping them all around. He'd rather kick you than punch you. Like there's that guy. There's a guy in there who is like he just is a body weight boom jujitsu guy just slamming into people. Like that's all he does is slam into people. There's another guy, the main guy. Every time he fights like 10 different dudes, he turns them into like human scaffolding. He like builds them up and he fights his way like a mountain and is just beating the shit out of everybody. It was unbelievable. Same as I mentioned with Obsession, there was a part where everybody in the theater lost their mind. We're doing the screening. The theater's filled with people, and there's a part during the last fight. The last fight is like 20 minutes long, and it's a multi guy. We're bringing them all in fight. It's five guys all at once, and it's two good guys against two bad guys, and then a free safety who's fighting everybody. He's just fucking pissed that his like boss, his father figure, got killed, so he wants to kill everybody. But there's a part when this is happening in this sequence, and they do like on the screen it just goes and it's just close-ups of everybody's eyes. Literally the theater just is like screaming and yelling like you just want to stand up and applaud. I've never This is so fucking cool. You gotta watch The Furious. Turn the volume all the way up on your home theater that you've built. Oh my god, you're gonna love it. It's so much fun.
You have to see those. It's so much. They are so much better in the theater. Like they're like I had waited. I admit I like dark, depressing movies, right?
I can tell, yeah.
And I was so happy when whatever it was, like 5 years ago, the American Cinematheque in LA launched Bleak Week. I, wait,
Bleak Week.
Bleak Week. You
First
know,
in line, Ted Hope.
I was like, oh my god. So there are movies there, like, one of my favorite movies, and I've yet to find more than 1 or 2 people who will say this with me, is this film Hard to Be a God, that is
I don't know that one.
the premise is basically it's a Russian movie. The director died making the movie, his wife and son,
Jesus.
finished the film, and it's in black and white, and the premise is it's in the future, and they've sent astronauts to all the planets, and our hero, who's a scientist, lands on the one planet that never got out of the Dark Ages. So it's like you're in the Middle Ages, and basically it's a serious version of Idiocracy, right? In that it like people are stupid and all they wanna do is fornicate, drink, defecate, fight, and eat, and he's, like, sworn not to use his n not w his ability to kill and knowledge, and it's just slow, slow, slow burn, and he doesn't wanna do it, but something happens to finally break him. And each the takes in the movie are often, like, 10 minutes long, single
Oh, I
takes,
like I like
but
that.
yeah.
I like
They
that.
but the film that I really loved in that what was and I owned the Blu-ray. I bought the Blu-ray because I knew I would love the film. What was John Hillcoat's The Proposition. Have you ever seen this movie?
Nope. You're saying
It's
you could be making up all of these movies for all I know.
The
You could just be
Proposition
messing with me.
is an Australian Western with what's his name? Daniel Houston in one of the leads and, um Clive Owen and, it's a good cast, right? And the script is actually written by the musician, Nick Cave,
I
right?
know Nick Cave, yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote
Gladiator 2 script.
the film's probably 15, 20 years, and I had held off watching because I really wanted to see it on the big screen based on what I knew about it, and they finally showed it last year at, Bleak Week. And definitely, makes my top 10 all-time movies. Some of the best acting ever by flies, because it's in the outback, and it's incredibly hot, and the actors are all covered in flies that, like, go in the mouth and come out of the mouth,
Come
and
on.
it's
Come
like
on,
chef
Ted. Ted, what are we doing here?
it's a fantastic movie, like, if you get a chance, see it on the big screen.
Let's finish with since we each gave 3 movies, let's answer 3 questions. You got time for 3
You
questions?
tell me, I'll do
Okay.
it.
If you're in the chat and you have a question that you would like either Tedrick or myself, I'm calling you Tedrick. I didn't mention this earlier. My wife has a very close friend who has a dog named Teddy, and we dog sit every once in a while, and I just started calling him Tedrick, and that's what's
Edric's
coming
good.
out. Yeah.
I feel like I was supposed to be a Theo. I had one
Theo
friend
Hope?
I think Theo would have been good.
Pretty
Um,
strong name.
but
So if you have a question, you wanna drop it in the chat, we'll do 3 questions, and then we will get out of here. If they don't have one, I
uh,
do have a couple of more for
I
you.
yeah, you know, I'm curious about what you're most looking forward to. If you had to do a quick say, what are the 3 movies coming up that you most wanna.
Oh, man. Well, I'm obviously very excited about Dune. I think that has a chance at being the best trilogy we've ever gotten. It's like the first
Yeah,
2 are wonderful. Um,
yeah,
I'm very excited about Prime Time, which we mentioned,
yeah.
briefly. And then 3rd, ooh, what else is coming that I'm excited about? I don't have a 3rd one, like, immediately.
Well, you know, I'm super excited about Digger,
Oh,
100
Digger,
Dogs in a Heart.
Digger.
Yeah,
Let's do Digger. Great
yeah.
call, great call.
And it's
I
supposed to be in that same school, that there's supposed to be a new Fincher movie, I think, at the end of the year too. I haven't,
Oh,
like,
The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
yeah, but like that, the movie I'm most excited about, is this South Korean director, Lee Chang-dong.
Mhm.
He did, if you happen to see the movie Burning, uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
years ago. Yeah, like, last year I went and watched all of his movies, and he instantly became one of my favorite,
I like doing
filmmakers.
that. I
Yeah,
like locking in on a director and being like, "I'm just gonna burn through this filmography."
and he's really interesting in how the way he chooses to tell stories. He relies often on, like, absence of something, so you have to has to dawn on you that something's missing, and then that becomes a key piece. He doesn't show you everything you need to know. Some things are, it's a key piece of Burning, like, what was Stephen a killer, or was he not? You don't really get told. I
Mhm.
mean, y you know, but, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to.
Okay. Let me ask you one.
What's happening with these folks? Come on, let's have some questions.
They just wanna watch, which is fine. Okay, let me ask you, and then we'll get out of here. But I'm curious, just from hearing, like, I mean, all of the movies that you have said so far, which were picks I was like anticipating. I was probably gonna say some stuff that hasn't come out yet because you're plugged in, and some stuff that I haven't seen, which I was very excited about. Um, do you have like, was there a moment when you were a kid where you saw a movie that none of your other friends had seen? Everybody else is watching, Beat Street and whatever, Jaws and The Godfather, and then you came across some movie that you were the only one, and you're like, I wanna know more about this world." What was that movie?
There's several of those things, but I'm an old guy, Shay, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
So
Me too.
before there were video stores, like, it was such a different thing. So, like, even going back to the simple things, like, when I was in college, I'd been fortunate to when I was 15 to see, you know, it definitely shaped me when I was 15 to see both Taxi Driver and Clockwork Orange. But then I took it as my mission to get people to go see those films, you know,
Wait, little
when they
15-year-old Ted Hope walking around being like, "You guys gotta check out Taxi
uh,
Driver and A
and
Clockwork Orange?"
I had a, you know, hippie-ish mom, who'd take us into the city. So when I was like 12 or 13, I saw Harold and Maude, and
Mhm.
I started doing pranks on my older sister, like lying because my mom had to go to school early. She was a teacher, so I would have to get my sisters up, and I would make a lot of noise and then lay down at the bottom of the stairs, having created a pool of blood, out of uh, boot guy with a knife, like, thinking that all was funny. Um, I thought it was pretty funny, but I think it actually all got started just as a kid, the same sort of way. Mom would take us to see the Marx Brothers, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, and I thought it was really funny to, like, either do a Groucho Marx or walk like Charlie Chaplin or stone face like Buster Keaton, and nobody had a clue what I was doing.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were, "What is this weird kid?" And I was, like, the
yeah.
only kid that had long hair where I grew up, so they were like, "He's really weird. He's got long hair and he does this funny walk and pretends he's smoking a cigar." It took a little while.
Okay. Last question. Last question. And this is a funny one that Lauer in the chat brought. Lauer's a he's always in a good movie comment section every single day, it feels like. And this is a fun one. So we do a monthly column at Good Movie where I'll list all of the new movies I went to the movie to watch, to the theater to watch, and then I'll say how much I paid for the ticket, $77 for me, my wife, and my kids to go see whatever. And then I'll end it by saying, here's a quick review of it. Does this movie does anybody owe me any money back? I'm gonna issue an invoice. So is there a movie that you paid money to go watch it at the theater, and afterward you're like, that movie, Matt Damon owes me 12 of my dollars back. Chris Nolan, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
your
yeah.
does a movie? Can you think of a movie that owes you some money?
I'm I'm trying. I'm looking through. Well, I watched it at home, but I was not a fan of Jurassic World Rebirth. I think that owes me a
Oh yeah.
little. It needs me I spent 0, but I need my money back. Um, the
I need one from this year.
but I watched it this year. That was it for me. Um, not. I'm looking. I don't think I really have.
No, nothing
There was
disappointed you.
yeah, I I I even, found stuff that I enjoyed watching even in The Running Man, for instance. Disappointed is different. Like, like I said, I was disappointed by The Odyssey, but I still enjoyed it. I would have paid double still to go see the movie
Glenn
easily.
Glenn Powell owes me about $8 back
I
for
saw
the Running Man.
that.
He owes me some money. He owes me a little bit of money. All right, Ted, this was super fun. I'm so happy that we finally got to chat. I'm so happy that our tastes are so far separate from one another. When they come together, it's, delicious. It's
Yeah, no, I
delicious
think
and exciting.
I think there's a lot, like, I wish there were more movies like Crime 101, like, just the excellent stories made in an excellent way, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't need big spectacle, right?
right.
Bring back those movies, like films for grown-ups, or at least people over the age of 15, you know? Nothing
Yeah.
against people that love the others, it's just like, I need more of them.
All right, Ted. I'll shoot you
See you
a
later,
message.
Shay.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in. This was super fun.
Yeah, thanks for doing it, man.
All
We
right,
almost
bye.
hit 200. Damn it.
We were right there. We were right there. Later.
Bye-bye.